Hey, I'm Jason Harrell.
And I'm Justin Boyd.
And let's freaking do this.
Welcome to episode number 10 of Let's Freaking Do This. My name is Justin Boyd, and once again, I'm joined by Jason Harrell, my good friend and musician. Jason, how you doing today?
Doing great. How you doing, Justin?
Doing okay. We've got some special guests with us. Jason, you want to introduce them?
Yeah. The introduction today, I think, is going to be a little bit abbreviated because they are intentionally mysterious. But we have Texas Black Dirt Music band, Ghost Dance Band.
Hey, word up. Yeah, something like that.
Word up.
Something like that. We got Cody. Cody's the lead singer, and Westy is you're the lead guitar player, right?
Yeah, I'm guitar A.
Guitar A. Okay. Is that the stage plot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guitar A. I'm guitar L.
There you go.
So y'all are a 5-piece band or 4-piece band?
We're a 5-piece and we have a laptop. So
Okay.
yeah, we're 5 and a robot.
So somebody give us the lineup for the band, if you would.
So we've got me, Cody, on the vocals, acoustic guitar most of the time. We've got, of course, Westy on lead guitar. Will Pressure holds down our rhythm guitar. I mean, he also solos around throughout the show, you know what I mean? So I say rhythm and lead, but it's pretty, you know what I'm saying? We got Chris Smith on the drums and James Bartosh on the bass guitar.
Very
awesome.
Cool.
And that's the SPDSX computer system that runs all of our keys and backtracks and all that good fun stuff.
Okay. I was going to ask you what you guys run through that.
Yeah.
So you guys run backing tracks through do you do it through the whole show or?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. But see, a lot of people are don't like backtracks.
Snobs.
Because they assume that it's, like I was always, I guess, just from the metal background that I come from, like whatever bands use backtracks,
right.
I understand. Like I know, like if they recorded 2 guitars, but there's only one guitarist on tour,
right.
they'll track that rhythm guitar, and that way the dude can lead over it,
and you've got all the studio effects that you put on your track that
right.
You're not going to try to pretend to like recreate on stage.
Right?
You need that stuff.
Yeah. Well, unless it crashes, it's safe. You get that consistency that it's always there and it always sounds good.
Yeah.
But in the pop world, I mean, really, I guess I just overlooked it. But backtracks are vocals, like
right.
strict,
right.
like because whenever Posty cracked his ribs the other day, I don't know if you knew or saw or yeah. Homeboy fell through the trap door that you used to pass gear up and down through, and it was open. So he took a step back and just dude caught that corner and just. Well, anyway, he's over there rolling like trying not to die. But meanwhile, through the loudspeakers, Post Malone is just singing like a little angel, loud, crispy, and clear.
But you know what? I'm gonna take up for Post Malone here because I think somebody needs to. The poor guy, he's been so downtrodden. But
we'll start a GoFundMe for him. I think.
Yeah, there you go. No, but like it's pretty clear when the guy's singing, as well as having the backtracks. Like it's pretty clear that there's both things happening at once.
It's not a secret in the hip hop world and stuff. Like they don't.
Right.
It's not like they're trying to hide it or nothing,
Right. Like in hip hop, you've got half the time you've got the same track playing that they're rapping along with. I mean,
it's expensive karaoke.
Yeah, to a certain extent. I mean, we saw Tech Nine a couple of months ago, and Tech Nine had Tech Nine was on stage by himself. Like he didn't have a DJ or anything. Like he's just on stage by himself, and they play a track, and he's rapping with it, and he'll like do some moves or whatever, and the fucking track keeps going, And he's not pretending, like he knows. But then when he gets back on, you can hear him. He's rapping with it, but like, and you go see like I saw. Gosh, it's been like a year now. I saw the metal tour of the year Lamb of God and Megadeth and fucking Trivium and all those guys. And
Nice.
like Lamb of God's intro to that stage, like I still thinking about it just gives me fucking chills because it's so good. They've got this giant curtain above in front of the stage, and they're playing the backing track for the intro to whatever the hell the name of their first song on the title track, I think, of their latest album, their last album. Anyway, they're playing that, and then there's like this boom in the track, and the curtain drops, and they launch into the song. It's awesome. Like, you couldn't pull that off without the backing tracks. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been called somebody one time after a show was like, man, I tell you what, y'all were real good. Everything was real tight. Y'all got to drop that backtrack though. It kind of gives me Florida Georgia line vibes, and we were like, oh, hey, easy,
Florida
buddy.
Georgia line.
And then I proceeded to stab him in the parking lot. Yeah, no.
God rest his soul.
No, I will defend our tracks forever because one, they're flipping awesome. You know, two, it keeps us from having to hire multiple more auxiliary musicians. You know, like, okay, this song's got this really gnarly synth. Why would we go hire a keyboard player to play, you know?
Now, to a certain extent, I should probably be the guy who's arguing against this because I've been the sixth member of a band more than once. So,
yeah, you seem to be a bit of an auxiliary guy yourself.
That's right.
Oh, well, trust me, if we had the bankroll to fill the roster up like that, we totally would. Because I mean, ultimately, you know, being able to just throw down and improvise, and you know, is what we are trying to do one day. But right now, we gotta save what we can, and not hiring a keyboard player is one of them ways.
Yeah.
Until
one day
do it.
I fully intend to have a keyboard player one day because I think it opens up some freedoms within some of our original songs. You know what I mean? Because as of right now, there's a click track that goes through our head, and you got to be right on with that click. Otherwise, you're off with the whole backtrack. And so once you start a song, you're pretty locked into the song the way it is, you know. And there's some of the OG songs we've been playing for a while now that, you know, I've had ideas on, we could kind of break this down right here and, like, you know, maybe do a little, like, we do band introductions in the middle of the show and do it our own fun way. But, like, I could right here maybe do a guy here. And then on this song, I could do someone here and get everybody. And then we do the big one. You know what I'm saying? Like, just little showmanship aspects that, you know, could be unlocked when that day comes.
Right, like you have an actual person who can kind of move along with the actual tone, like feel of the set, and know when to kick it up or slow it down or whatever. Yeah,
for sure.
It's always cool to have it live, man. Whenever it's happening in real time, you can't beat it.
Yeah,
and we're definitely a band that shines live, you know. So.
Well,
the best part.
Yeah. I have not caught you guys live. I really don't catch that many shows live, but I've seen some videos of you guys. Like, you guys have some pretty well done videos of some live performances.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
we try to put money into it any chance we get. You know, content is king these days. So
right, that's true. And you guys have a killer website. Justin and I were just talking about it before you guys came on. Like, you know, most of us, we spend our whatever annual fee for our website, and it just pretty much stays the same except for maybe show dates or whatever. But you guys have like animated backgrounds and shit. Like, the Erie Street thing moves, and you got the ghosts moving, and there's rain and smoke. Like, what? How do you guys get that? Like, is that one of you running this, or
that's all Westy D?
Okay.
Yep. I handle all of our flyers, all of our merch, all of our imagery.
The artwork is phenomenal. The artwork for the albums.
I also do all of our album art, and then I made the website. Now, granted, it is a Squarespace template-based website. I'm not going to sit here and say that I, Dreamweaver coded this shit. But in terms of structure and how, you know, if I'm on a band site, what do I want to see? I want to see this, I want to see this, and I want to see this. So, you know, I try to, you know, and I mean, truthfully, it's kind of due for an update. But Thank you, though. It means a lot to me. Yeah, I in order to make the animated, I'm scrolling up the animated
The smoke and stuff.
Yeah, I made a Photoshop project for the album cover because that's the album cover.
Right.
Now the image you're actually seeing on the website on the CD would technically be folded in half. So on the front you would have the ghost in the street, and if you flip it to the back, you would have the little Erie Street little goblin guitar man.
Mhm.
And so that album, that image in full is what's up here. But no, man, I just took the Photoshop files and I ran them through After Effects and I just animated them, and then I added the rain, added the smoke, like try to give it some life. I had to put a wiggle command to make the sign sway, like the wind is, so yeah, I get real nerded out on that.
Can we share? I don't know if we can do. I don't want to put you on the spot, Justin. Can we share that?
Well, I've got some stuff that I was going to share.
Oh, okay.
But you're mentioning their live videos, but I want to talk to y'all about you have a couple of videos that I think are very cinematic. You have one called Graveyard Song, and I've got some images from that. Cody or Weston, whoever wants to take it, what's kind of the thought process behind the video and putting this together? Because in Graveyard Song, y'all basically become zombies like midway through the song. Is that kind of the right way to read that?
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed it, man. And truthfully, we had a whole idea, and then the night before we shot the video, we kind of scrapped everything and wrote out our actual plan of how we wanted the shoot to go, and like a couple different locations. As far like I say that they were all walking distance of each other, but a different location nonetheless. And so
so scary.
Love that picture. Make that my profile picture. I don't know.
That's good. That's great.
Right. But yeah, man, it was just sitting around back, drinking a couple beers and brainstorming. You know what I mean?
Boy, I set myself up for some gnarly photoshopping when I did that one.
So who did y'all work with like a company locally, or
we
actually, you know what? Let me back up just a hair on here, because I know like your website makes it like you're intentionally like vague. Where are you guys based out of?
DFW/Waco. That's where we live.
So
we have a band HQ, like our little home base studio, little bat cave.
Okay.
That is in Louisville, and that's where it's pretty much the lab. But yeah, Cody's a Roman gypsy. He's all over. I'm pretty much anchored in Waco.
Okay.
Chris is in Louisville. James is in some field somewhere. What, Abbott? No. Abbott?
Yeah, Abbott.
Okay, yeah.
Basically Waco. It might as well be Waco.
Yeah. I went to Abbott a few weeks ago, actually.
Yeah.
Home of Willie Nelson. Shout out.
Right. That's right.
Shout out.
Yeah,
Shout
yeah.
out.
I went to Abbott because they have like it's like I forgot what it's even called, but it's like a wedding venue that also does live music out there. And I went out there and caught Lucas Jagno and Derek McClendon, whose shirt I'm wearing right now. But anyway, they did a little song swap thing out there. But it was like we were driving out into the middle of nowhere. We went down this dirt road to get to the venue, so it was.
Oh yeah, you keep on expecting Leatherface to jump out and start waving a chainsaw around at you, like.
I mean that's the kind of, like, Justin and I are both from small town in West Texas, so it's essentially the same thing. Like we can deal with Leatherface.
Right.
Yeah, we got that. I want to ask y'all about the other video that I thought was also cinematic was Andromeda. It's like an alternate reality video. I guess I want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen the video, but there's a robot in the video, and do y'all want to talk? Someone wants to talk about, like, I mean, if you want to spoil it, but it's a very interesting story. This video, it did not go the way I expected.
So, all right, man. Okay, so Andromeda is real near and dear to Cody's heart. Like, it's a really special song for him, and I helped on a couple of lines on that song, but ultimately it's all him. It's a very pretty song. It's metaphorical, but obviously, I mean, the vibe of it is it's a happy song. Well, I kind of was sitting around one day and just kind of started thinking about it in terms of kind of like warping the perspective of what these might actually mean. And I actually found I got permission to use the video. Like, I didn't make this. I wish I could say that I made that video. I did not make it. I got permission from a little indie sci-fi. They make little sci-fi shorts, and I hit them up and I was like, hey, this little short that y'all have, I think would be perfect for like a little spooky, weird, take on one of our love songs. And they were like, yeah, use it. Who cares? So I synced it up and I mashed it up and I edited it around, how I thought it would fit and flow with the song. But looking back, it is such a perversion of the original message and vibe of the song. And to me, I love the parody and the irony of taking something that, the band loves, that is so pure and pretty, and just turning it into just chaos. And I really think that's what this video does, because all these terrible things are happening, yet you've got this just really pretty soundtrack to what could be a sci-fi horror video.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely creepy. Like, you see this, there's this, I mean, I'll explain some of it. There's a young girl who's on a table and she's bound, and this robot comes in. You think the robot's going to save the day, and it's not necessarily what happens.
No. But,
so all that was from the short.
Yes. I saw the short, and it spoke to me so well. I was like, this is verbatim perfect for what I would like to do with Andromeda, and especially because that song, a lot of our newer music has kind of got a lot more bite and edge and aggression to it. And that song doesn't. It's just smooth, glassy, dreamy, ambient, and just the voyeuristic elements from the robot and the borderline stalking, and he's preying on these people and he's looking for people, but not to give too much away, but the audio clip that I kept from the short, where he talks about, is it wrong to just want love? Is it, I love how I love, and I can't, am I wrong for that? And yet it can be interpreted in many different ways, because yes, what he's doing is totally wrong and evil, but he's not human. He doesn't understand. He sees love as, maybe control and possessiveness and obsessiveness, and not the which love is in some way, in many ways. We've all been there, but yeah, dude, I thought it was very artistic, even though the guys were kind of like, this grosses me out, take it down.
Well, I like taking taking the song, maybe what it was originally like lyrically intended to do, and then kind of twisting it with your like visually into something else. It's interesting. I'm looking at like right now, I just looked up the lyrics for the song, and I noticed, at least according to Google, the entire band is credited as songwriters, which is like it's funny because in some ways, like, so we've talked about this before, how we on this show we like to talk to songwriters, and I think it was maybe with the band Laredo when we talked to them about it, that we there's not a lot of, it feels like anyway, maybe in this Texas scene, there's not a lot of like bands. Like, there's a whole lot of singer-songwriters who have bands and who might throw together a band for a show or for a tour or whatever. But there's not a whole lot of groups that are bands, like, this is a cohesive thing, it's all or nothing type of thing. Seems like that's what you guys are.
Yeah. So from the get-go, I guess to give a backstory on kind of how we got going, our band minus me and the bass player were all a metal band together. They were called the Affinity Index, TAI. And kind of got to, I was, of course, my brother's in the band. So I'm hanging around with the guys. I watched some shows. I'd help them load in and all that good stuff. And I had started writing some songs in the meantime. And, it all started because I just asked him to come sit in the studio for one song. I just wanted to have one kind of a bucket list thing, just, do it, throw it out there, see what happens. At least I can always say it was fun,
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the final product back. We all were, pretty shocked on what we got back. It was Rituals, the title track off of our first EP. And we just kind of kept going with it. But once it kind of started getting serious, I always wanted it to be more of just a band type thing. Like I didn't want to be Cody Dollins in the so-and-so. Like I didn't, I'm not saying people do it for the attention or nothing, but like I wanted to make sure that everything we put out we were known as a band, and like you said, that's just not a thing especially in Texas and in the country music scene, Americana, Texas Red Deer, whatever you want to call it. And so I thought that would be cool. Of course, like I said, grew up listening to metal and stuff. So like all those guys are band names,
Right.
You get to think of a band name. Like that's fun. You know what I'm saying? Kind of puts a little twist in there. But
yeah.
So always and forever, I've wanted to, whenever, we got started, I wanted it to just be a band name.
And how did you come up with this name, Ghost Dance Band? What's the origin of that?
Well, back in 1964, there was a mass murder, suicide. I'm just kidding.
I was waiting. I was waiting for the story.
Ride. Go for it.
Yeah. Whatever you say, I'm believing it.
No, check this shit out, though. I will tell you this. We went on a roll like that because, honestly, I mean, sometimes it's better not knowing. It's more fun. We have a lot more fun with people. Just kind of like, I don't know.
We like to make stuff up about it all the time, but we have learned that can lead to some pretty stupid moments on a podcast or on an interview.
Oh, dude, we did a podcast the other day, and I went on for like 6 minutes about this girl, and she was down in the South, and she started like seeing shit, and her parents didn't believe her, and the town didn't believe her, and then finally they just found her one day, and she was dead, and her parents were dead, and everybody was like trying to, well, maybe we should have believed her, maybe we're at fault and we let this happen, and they found this note and said like the ghost made me do it, and that's what she kept on saying, and I was like, oh yes, it's called the Ghost Dance Murders, and we took that name and we ran with it. And
I did a thing. So the one time, 95.9 The Ranch, if most Texas artists know that station, it's one of the bigger ones. We entered a radio contest thing whenever Ben Ryan was still there, and the song we entered ended up winning. It's like a local music showdown type thing. So he brought us up to do an interview, for the winning song or whatever. And I went on and rambled this stupid peyote desert vision scene story. Yeah. And I left there thinking like, oh, that was too long for like radio. Because I went on for a few minutes, I was like, oh, they'll cut that out. Nope. It was on there. And I was just like, oh my God, we are idiots, man.
The best thing about it is sitting there and everybody's trying to be so serious. And most bands that aren't, because I mean, we don't get to do the awesome stuff like every day. It's still like really special. We still get really excited, and I mean, we've done cool things, but they're not like, it's not like the norm every day is stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So most bands would be, oh, we've got to be so serious. This is our chance, boys, and we gotta tell the people, tell the world, and we go up there. Nope. We're going to talk about desert snails and acid trips and
make shit up.
Oh, yeah. Dude, and the whole time we're goofing off and we're cracking each other up, and Cody's trying to keep his voice from like giving on, telling this like dark story to the listeners out there. And Ben Ryan is literally just doing this. He knew, he caught on from jump. These dudes are such full of shit.
Yeah. And I don't think they ever did another local music showdown interview winner after that. I think.
Oh my God.
We probably blew it.
Well, the man retired. The man quit his job. He said, "You know what? If this is what I've got to deal with, I'm leaving. I'm done." He left.
Oh God!
No more than 3 weeks later, he was gone.
So, what song did y'all win that competition with?
It was Relapse off of our Erie Street album.
That's your latest EP. Although yesterday y'all had an announcement on your Twitter. I saw that you'll have a new EP coming out pretty soon. We're
kind of working on a double album, really, because we have what we're calling the 8-bit EP.
Yeah,
we're taking all of our songs and we're turning them into Nintendo music, and we're putting it out there because that's there you go.
Yeah.
Because that's what Texas Americana musicians do, is put out Nintendo EDM.
Right. So, God, I can't.
Never let them know your next move, dog. Never let them know.
I can't think of the name of the band. It was a band. It was like an indie rock band from maybe 6 or 7 years ago, that I really liked, and they put an album out, and it may have been longer ago than that because I was going on to download the track. I paid for it, and I went to download the track, and I didn't realize that what I was buying was essentially this. It was like they put out an entire 8-bit version of an album that they had already released.
Awesome.
Okay, but I downloaded it. I'm like, what the fuck is this? I don't want to listen to this.
Well,
yeah,
you guys said on your Twitter thing, it's like, this is for the hardcore, like nerd fans,
like video game.
What we're doing, yeah, right.
Like if you're playing Castlevania or something,
right?
Exactly.
2022 on Nintendo, then here's your background music.
I mean, it's ballsy.
But here's the thing, though. I've been single-handedly developing this since COVID.
Oh yeah.
There is a video game that is from the video game. The people that you're looking at, that is my character, James's character, Cody, Will, and Chris. I'm literally making an RPG of the band.
Oh, God.
And
awesome.
the music that we released is the soundtrack.
Wow.
Yeah, that is so great.
Yeah, bro.
And shout out to James, our bass player. He has, as far as the music, the whole 8-bit album, he's basically taken that on himself.
Oh, 100%.
I mean, the dude's a full-time musician, like gigs all through the week and everything, and in his spare time sits down and busts out these 8-bit versions of our songs. So a lot of big shout out to him for sure.
Is this a game that we're going to be able to have access to?
Eventually, yes. What
if you guys became like video game, like more well known for your video game than your music?
I was gonna say, my fear is that the 8-bit album takes off and we all have to switch to keyboards and I have to dress like Daft Punk.
Yeah, we've all got to
you know what I mean? Like, we just have to totally rebrand and okay, I guess we're doing this.
Okay. Pays the bills, right?
Yeah, right.
No, but
let's all start a side project called Ghost Dance Band, the non-8-bit EP.
Yep.
Analog.
Non-8-bit.
Analog, yeah.
Pull out a guitar and the crowd boos. I'm like, okay, I'll put it back up.
Well, I figured logically, it's a lot easier to just make a soundtrack to said game, have soundtrack and game pop off, to therefore introduce the world to your band, then just go do band things, get discovered, pop off. So, it was just, just kind of we feel it was a smart business move to really put our eggs in that video game basket.
I got to tell you, you guys are like, you're definitely tackling this from some unexplored angles,
Thank
you. Like visually, I was actually thinking about it a minute ago, like, we're kind of coming up on Ghost Dance Band season right now. Like this is like totally
Halloween's coming, man. Like y'all are gonna be booked like crazy, I would assume.
Do you have some big shows coming up for Halloween?
Man, I put out feelers. See, we took a little bit of time off so we could get some new music banged out. We really wanted to get some new stuff written so that way we can really hit 2023 hard. And we've already got 2 releases planned. One for Tickophobia, the video, and the song drops October 7th. And then what we're calling code name, working title in progress, Underdog, to be dropped of early 2023. But so we kind of laxed on the booking, but I put the feelers out was today or yesterday about getting Halloween shows. So we got time. There's always somebody that's got something open. We'll figure something out.
Yeah, I would think so. Especially a show that could like clearly be marketed for that event, that date.
Right.
Well, I mean, but we're also like, we, in terms of thinking outside the box, like, we'll just make our own show. I mean, we've done it before. Like, there was a venue in Waco that, and I won't name drop or nothing, but there was a Waco venue that during COVID, during the depths of the lockdown, like nobody was doing shit, you know? Well, they were talking about letting restaurants open, but keeping the 51%ers still shut down. So people could start to go sit down in restaurants, but they couldn't do anything else. Well, I got together with said venue who owned a lot adjacent to the property, right? That didn't have a liquor license attached to it. And we were like, what can we do? How can we do this? How can we get back out there and do this without getting arrested, So we hosted a birthday party that people paid $20 to get in. And then once you were in, it was free beer all night. So the venue provided said kegs and stage, sound, lights. And then I snuck off at 3 a.m. and helped build the perimeter fence on the parking lot next door. And we literally just made a show. We just built it, and word got out that it was a big old, everyone invited a 21 and up birthday party, right? And so that place was just filled to it was elbows and assholes, dude. And then the cops showed up and tried to arrest all of us. Yeah, dude, it was great. It was badass. It was like the coolest thing ever.
I assume they didn't succeed.
Oh no. They just stared at everybody for 45 minutes, like they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Well, they were walking in, and I turned
the
around
rules,
to the guys, and I was like, "Don't stop." I was like, "We will be the last people they kick out of here." I was like, "The music stays going."
Yeah,
just
like the
keep the show
Titanic.
rolling.
It's been an honor to play with you tonight, boys, and we're just gonna.
Well, the rules at that time were so strange, Like, the whole. Anyway, we don't have to go into all that, but there was a place here in Austin, in the Austin area, that kind of opened up for a similar reason under this similar kind of what do you call it, auspices, I guess, where they were essentially it was a house party type thing, and that wasn't banned or whatever, but they did it intentionally, so they'd have a stage for musicians who they knew now were at that time were screwed and out of work, and they put together a stage in their backyard. Like, they had this big storage building, and they turned it into a stage, like a pretty nice stage, like a big size stage. You could fit, as big a band as you probably could put together on that stage. And they had shows every weekend for a while until the city came in and started trying to tax them and stuff. And then, like, they went through several rounds of that where they've had to do things to change to accommodate the city. But that was what they were doing. Like, they billed themselves as a house party.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, dude, if it wasn't for like guerrilla tactics and stuff like that, like, we wouldn't have made it.
And
like,
streaming. Did y'all do any streaming?
Oh God.
Oh yeah, we did, but it was a nightmare every single time.
Yep.
People do not
terrible,
understand.
Man.
They just don't understand. I mean, anybody can hop on a Zoom and Zoom, but when you're like, okay.
Case in point, right here.
No, I'm actually very impressed with y'all's setup. I like this a lot. It's really cool. But like, we wanted to do. We have our board ran. We've got the X32 set up. All the instruments, all the inputs. Somebody's gonna live mix it. We're gonna play. We're gonna sing. It's gonna be a full show.
Yep.
Beamed over through the web. You know what we didn't take into account is that we don't have, you know, a 1,000-yard Ethernet cable ran to the modem out here, so we're on Wi-Fi. So even though we have awesome Wi-Fi, the upload speed wasn't enough.
Right.
So you would get those like tick, and then it would be good for a little bit, and then tick, 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 and then people would say, you know, we could see the chat like, oh my God, sounds good, can't hear, frozen, viewer gone, gone, viewer gone. So our streaming experience was, I never want to do it again.
Yeah. What were y'all trying to stream through? Was it like were you trying to go to all the platforms at once, like with Restream, or what were you doing?
We were restreaming through OBS Streamlabs, and we were going live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
Yep.
So, and come to find out, it was just a matter of upload speed. And had we been hardwired into the router, like I feel that it would have been okay, because I recently started kind of getting back into that here at my house.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and I finally figured out how I can play my guitar and it comes through to where y'all hear, you know, what I'm actually playing versus like speak from a speaker to a speaker, you know. So I kind of solved the problem 2 years too late.
Yeah.
You know, but if we ever do anything like that again, then we'll definitely be ready for it.
I think that, you know, hopefully we'll never actually have to deal with a situation quite like that with the lockdown stuff. But I do think there probably has been some companies that have sprung up because of all that, and some ideas and some technologies that have sprung up because of that. Like there's some, I honestly, I don't know for sure if this happened because of the pandemic or the lockdowns or what, but there's like some production software, like recording software that now allows you to like connect with other people and share essentially virtually with other people who might be a producer for you or whatever. And you can like work in very close to real time with those people, and you can upload, like you can play the track and they can hear it and tell you what, you know, you can work with them and collaborate in that way. But the other thing that I found very, very, very difficult to deal with was like the bandwidth limitations on some of the actual services, because you can have great internet speeds yourself, and then once you get to the service like a Facebook or whatever, they'll have it limited so that your bit rate was like so limited already, like whatever kind of high quality audio that you were working on getting out of your computer and out into the internet, it would never make it to anybody else because it was squashed down. Yep. I think YouTube was supposed to be pretty good with the way the audio was able to transfer, but like Facebook was kind of like known for squashing down the bit rates.
Well, that and Facebook can only process 720.
Right.
So yeah. I mean, you know, everybody that's dropping, you know, $2 and $3 grand for these phones, hoping that we're gonna get 4K on these phones, like, no, you're not. You know, like it's because it's all relative to screen size, you know. Yeah. But so the compression and all that through Facebook really didn't do us any favors. But we noticed that like Instagram didn't really offer anything like that, you know.
Right.
TikTok wasn't really. I don't even remember if TikTok was a thing in 2020 or not. Maybe, probably, but
yeah, I think it was.
I think it was, but like I also remember, like I had a friend who tried to do live stream piano bar essentially during the time, and he set up at one point where he had his drummer there, and he set up one stream for Facebook and one stream, actually Twitter, I think at that time had a live stream thing. I don't know if you can still live stream from Twitter, but I think you could there for a while, and I think it kept crashing. So they just went with Facebook. Like Facebook seemed to be the best out of all of them.
Yeah, which sucked.
Right. Right.
But yeah, man.
Speaking of social media, what are you want to plug your social media handles right now?
Instagram is at Ghost Dance Band Official. Twitter at Ghost Dance Band. Facebook.com/Ghost Dance Band Official. Perhaps.
I'm totally gonna make some fucking fake accounts, Ghost Dance Band fake accounts, so that your official can like
stand out. Yeah,
Yeah, stand out. Yeah,
Hell yeah.
That's gonna be like Ghost Dance Band
Yeah.
ABCD or something.
not
Just
the
like,
actual Ghost Dance Band. That's
follow
the one-
Ghost Dance Band.
A lot of people mistake us for the band Ghost, and then they are
Yeah.
so disappointed when we're not Ghost.
Like we have an Instagram ad out of our song High and a video that Motion Theory did. Shout out Trevor Lamb. But and we got a comment the other day like, I thought this was the band Ghost and I was entirely confused. And I was like, hey, we love Ghost, but two different sounds for sure.
Right. Very much fewer painted faces, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Although if I had it my way, we would be doing all kinds of crazy shit. The guys have to really kind of like keep my feet on the ground. Like, no, Weston, we're not going to do that.
Yeah. That's what
Well, like I
we
said,
really,
I mean, you guys get very creative with your visuals and your marketing strategies. And so who was in the metal band? Okay.
It was me, my other guitar player, Will, guitar B, and our drummer, Chris. Yeah, we did. Our sound was like, we were like the golden age of metalcore. Like, so we love our Kill Switch Engage, and our Prada and Under Oath, and and our God Forbid, and and the what have yous and the whatnots. And so that's really where we like our because it's so melodic, and you've got all this this just crazy guttural and frost screams, and you've got all this madness, but then you've got just like this melody that just like cuts through it like a knife, and
So did y'all have a singer and a screamer type person?
yes. We had a screamer. I did backup screaming. Daniel was our full-time front man, and then Will was our pretty singer. And
there you go.
We definitely wanted to carry that over, and so now I occasionally, on a few parts during the live set, I get to kind of scream and do some metal stuff, but James and Will support Cody with vocals.
Okay.
Yeah, and so we definitely knew that was something that we wanted, and now we have our 3-part harmonies pretty dialed in.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so I give the boys a lot of credit for that, because it's when it's on and it just comes out of nowhere, dude. It's pretty crazy. So
once again, something that you can't. Well, I'm not going to say you can't, because I'm part of a band that is trying to do it right now, but you can't as consistently and as easily hit those harmonies like that unless you've got a core group of guys who's constantly doing that all the time. I mean, shit, like the best example I can think of currently would be of the Texas group would be like the Wilder Blue. The Wilder Blue, they've got fucking amazing harmonies, because it's a whole group of guys who can sing really well, and but yeah, that's a thing, that's a band thing, right?
Yeah,
I
totally
prefer
thought you
because
were gonna say Shane Smith and the Saints. I was
Oh,
like,
shit.
say it. I was like, go ahead and say it.
their harmonies are freaking smack too, man.
See, I've never seen them live. Like I said, I don't get out too often.
Oh man.
You can find a way, figure it out.
Yeah, I've been
they
doing
were a
better
band-
lately. But
They were a band that, like, when I looked up their music way back in the day when I was first hearing about them, like, I heard it and I was like, yeah, no, good songs, but I like a little more, kind of a rock and roll thing going on, like that little edge to it, But the first time I saw those guys live, I was absolutely mind blown, and mostly because of their harmonies, like the way they break them down and do them. And if you ask me, they're one of the best performing bands going, especially out of Texas. I mean, those guys just put on a great show.
yeah, I'm sorry. I exactly what I was afraid was going to happened, and my light just died, so I have to plug it back in. This is the joys of having a live show.
No, just
Right.
be spooky.
Right.
Just, put your
I turned off the light because it's
Yeah,
a
like
ghost dance
put your phone, your flashlight under your face, like you're at a
Yeah.
campfire.
Our
There you
guest this
go.
week is the Ghost Dance Band. Jason, just roll
That's
with
right.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah,
come on,
right,
man.
Totally intentional.
Yeah.
it. y'all's music is really interesting because you can definitely kind of hear the metal and like the hard rock, but then there's also the country feel. And Jason here is a fiddler, and then you'll have a song called Dreamcatcher that I've listened to several times. Maybe it's like an underrated song, y'all's, but it's pretty heavy on the fiddle. Can you tell me about kind of how y'all put together these
Okay, who
different
played
kind
the
of
fiddle,
genres?
first of all?
Yeah.
Who was the fiddler?
Oh, you want to go or want me to do it?
So the fiddler's name I do not recall. So this was in very early GDB, our first album. We were still deciding exactly what we wanted to do. We kind of had an idea, but we kind of jumped in the studio before we had stuff really figured out. Like we just kind of went for it, And one of the things was, do we want to be a fiddle band? Like, do we want to, have a fiddle player consistently there? And so we were like, well, let's just try it out on one song. And that was the song where we told the producer, we were like, hey, man, like we want to, let's see if we can get some fiddle in here, but we don't want anything crazy. Like just put something subtle back there. That way, if we don't find a fiddle player full time, like it's nothing that people are going to miss, Yeah. And he's like, okay, yeah, cool. Well, we leave the studio and all this goes down in, days we're not there.
Not subtle, by the way, not subtle.
Yeah. He comes back, he sends us the mix back or whatever. And I always say, a song is going to go hard on the fiddle when it leads off with ticket, ticket. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it leads off with that. As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh my God, like how are we going to play this without a fiddle player, Well, and of course, we learned at that time backtracks, that was the way. And we backtrack it to this day. And most of the time I forget, but I usually try to make a little joke about it on stage. You know what I mean? So,
yeah,
I will say that the girl that did fiddle on the song is extremely renowned. Like she played the presidential inaugural ball and performed for the Senate and the country. Like this chick is just, and they said that she listened to it pretty much one time, two times, came into the studio that day, one take, Willie just chicka, 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 and then bailed. That was it. It wasn't nothing to her. So we have, not only do we have some gnarly fiddle, but we have one of the top fiddle players, and I need to Google and go through the
look her name up.
Yeah.
Remember who she is. She's really great. I don't know her name, but she's really great.
Oh, yeah. We never even saw her face, met her, nothing.
No, never met her. Nothing.
A ghost, you could say.
There you go.
There we go. All right.
It goes well with the mystery of the band.
That's
the
right,
origin of the band, the name is kind of a mystery. Who's in the band? I guess sometimes it's a mystery. Yeah.
Who knows?
Right. We should have her
just say
show
that she is actually. You know what? You should turn it into the story where she is that girl in the desert.
Yeah.
She played the fiddle on the song.
Played the fiddle.
It's all coming together.
To us. And we're on this musical journey to go and find her and bring her home. She's our unfinished business.
We need to one day see if we can track her down and toss a little cash her way. And we have this bed sheet ghost that we carry around at shows. And every once in a while, if we have a friend there or something, we'll tell them during this song, put the sheet on and go run around in the crowd and be stupid or whatever. And we need to see if we can get a hold of her and just drape it over her. Let her play the fiddle.
Yeah.
Because we've got cheap ghosty, we've got dollar store ghosty, and then we've got video ghosty. Video ghosty costs a little bit of money. It's this real fine real heavy satin sheet, and the eyes are like silk. So, and then so that's what we use for the Aticophobia video. We're gonna drop in a little bit, and then we've got that dollar store, that trailer park ghosty. It's like a 50 count dollar store sheet. It's all burlappy and scratchy.
Yeah.
That's the one that got the most wear out of it.
Yeah.
I've got a high class ghosty in my closet right now, folded up.
I'll snap.
I'll snap.
Well, you definitely you incorporate the whole a lot of the show. It sounds like you incorporate a lot of the show, what am I trying to say? The showmanship of a metal act.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ghosty thing. That's again another ripoff from the metal world, where that's a little more of a thing.
Right.
Got Necrogoblicon has the goblin, Black Dahlia Murder has the ape. You know, like all these bands.
I
Like,
mean, you
mascots.
I mean, you go all the way back to like everybody. Like you go all the way back to was it Iron Maiden and
Eddie.
Eddie.
Eddie, yeah.
And then you got the guy from at that show I was telling you about earlier, the Megadeth show. They had the God, what did they have come out on stage? They had
I
like
can
some
see it in my
robots
mind.
or something, but
Yeah.
they have another guy, like they have another like a skeleton type character. It's a similar thing, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes you think of the Peace Salesman Who's Buying record.
yes, that's the one.
Like, yes, I know what you're talking about.
And then
Yeah.
there's the Raining Bullets, right?
Yes. Well, I mean, you know, nothing's new under the sun. We're definitely not trying to reinvent the wheel with any of this. I mean, you know, we'll be the first to acknowledge that, yeah, it's been done before, but hasn't been done in our scene.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
like nobody's it's
Like-
interesting because nobody's coined the phrase black dirt before, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Except us.
Yeah.
We were actually recording the song, the working title Underdog that we mentioned earlier, and we were in the studio, and Westy, I believe you said it first, Texas Black Dirt, and like our producer like stopped what he was doing and like looked up, spun around in his chair, and was just like, y'all need to like, that's your
Absolutely.
thing, like that's y'all's thing. And we were like, it just kind of hit right there, and we have leaned heavy into it. We're
Yeah.
trying to make it the whole
Absolutely.
thing, you know.
Yeah, we're riding that bomb all the way to the ground, baby.
And it's
Right.
funny,
Right.
I think I connect with you guys because I haven't personally interacted with a whole lot of people involved in the Texas country music scene who are also like fans of like big time fans of metal and like extreme types of metal as well. So like
Yeah, like I've spent all today, and I even in our band chat earlier, I've just been drooling over the new Devil Wears Prada album, Color Decay. Like, oh my God, it's so good, man. And like, I've been really trying to, as far as songs we're writing in the future, to try to incorporate a sound like those big choruses. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, obviously, you know, we can't scream a full verse, but I also want to get Westy like very subtly in the background screaming in some of these songs, you know, but like
Yeah.
pull it back, because our whole method, or at least mine for this band, has been that people want to feel like they're at that rock and roll show,
Sure.
but metal is just too aggressive for a lot of people, right? Like, it just,
Yeah.
they don't want to be screamed at the whole time, but they still want to like wear the black and like feel like they went to a rock show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody I saw on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, they were like, there are certain types of music that you can't convince me that people actually listen to. They just want to say they like it so they can wear the cool t-shirts.
Right, right.
Like, and I don't think that's true, but I can see
Yeah.
it. There's a certain marketing that goes along with it that people like. They identify with sort of like the darker mood, the darker lyrics, the sort of atmosphere that you get of almost like being like like identifying with the outcast type of thing, which I think I think all of us want to think in some way we're unique, and in that way we're different, we're outcasts,
Right.
Oh yeah. Black sheep
For sure,
syndrome.
man.
Sure.
Black sheep syndrome, is that what you said?
Oh yeah.
I never heard that before, but that makes sense. I can understand that.
Well, but my thoughts on all of it is that everybody has this death to false metal and death to all but metal, and it's this and it's that, and what people don't realize, and if there's one true diehard like deicide listening, like metal listener, they're gonna get pissed off, but I'm gonna say it, it's all pop. It's I'm sorry, dude. No matter how black your clothes are, it's all pop. This pop is wrapped up in pink and white, and your pop is wrapped up in black and has some cute little spikies on it.
Yep.
That's it.
And
Dude,
you go out,
Mhm.
like you go out and look up the most extreme metal band that you can think of, and I guarantee you, whatever their number one stream song is, it's not going to be the 9-minute long epic where they're just like all over the place. It's going to be the one that's like cut down into a very short, fairly short song, and it's going to have clear, distinct verses and choruses.
Yep.
Yep.
And the choruses are going to be catchy, Even if you don't even understand what they're saying, it's going to be catchy. The melody's going to be catchy. It's something about it is going to be like pop, pop, pop. Like,
Well,
I
let's
mean,
put it this
you're
way.
absolutely right. It's pop.
Yeah, no
Lamb of
doubt.
God has singing in their music now.
Of course they do.
Whitechapel has a
Randy
whole,
Blythe.
yeah.
Oh, Whitechapel, 100% has changed.
And,
Like,
and you can't tell me that Hickory Creek isn't one of the best songs they've ever written.
it's a great that whole I think it was just their latest album, right? Like that's like that whole thing has gone very melodic, very singing. There's a whole lot of singing going on, and that was not the Whitechapel that I remember when I was, 10, whatever it was, 15 years ago. Like Whitechapel was very much just, what the hell was their genre? What did they call it? It was like deathcore or something.
They were deathcore. Yeah, they're a deathcore band.
Like I'm not as big of a metalhead as I'm sure a lot of people, probably not as much as you guys are, but I know the names of these bands, but like Whitechapel has changed their sound a lot, although they do still have a lot of like really long songs.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, Phil Bozeman is always. I mean, you think he can't drop his guts, and vibrate the ground with his lows? Absolutely. But he's an artist, man, and he's like,
Right.
I want to the George Strait listeners and the Britney Spears listeners and your Fleetwood Mac lovers and and all that. The screaming and all that is so alien and so like, how do they do it? What is it? It doesn't make sense. Well, to a lot of those brutal guttural guys, man, they were like, I wish I could sing. Like I wish I could be Howard Jones. I wish I wish I could be Devin Townsend.
Oh my God, we all wish we were Howard Jones,
dude. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
So I mean, I respect the dudes for being like, you know what? Like, I mean, you've also got to remember who you're making music for. Like,
That's right.
if we-
Like, yep.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I mean, this is, I mean, we got you guys on to talk about you, but like, I'm enjoying the conversation. Like, cause I thought about this the other day and I like, I write songs and I sing songs and whatever, but like, I can't do the metal stuff. Like if I could do it and do it well, fucking better well believe I would do that. But like, that's just not, I didn't grow. I grew up listening to it, but I never developed the proficiency on on guitar. I never was able to figure out how to do those kinds of vocals, whatever. And so I don't do that stuff. And I also like emotionally don't go there with my lyrics, but like that's a level that I think is like, I really respect and like hold in very high esteem those kinds of bands.
Yeah, that's like the ultimate, like, I think dream. Like, if to me, I think peak live performance, like as a profession, musicians, yeah, whatever, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
is like metal, dude. If you've ever been to a metal show and like seen the passion that the crowd gives back, like there's good shows in every genre. You know what I mean? And like being a professional musician, playing to big crowds all the time is going to be great wherever you do it.
right.
But man, that energy and that passion you get at metal shows, it's like, that's really, to me, the peak of it all. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I think in terms of musicianship, the only thing I would compare it to is like some like
Church.
Well, it could be church, but also like super high quality like bluegrass. Like you guys check out some bluegrass bands and those dudes are fucking shredders. Like those dudes are burning up the neck on the like banjos and fiddles and all that stuff, and they're doing some crazy stuff that you would never. My mind doesn't go there. I don't think that way. I don't think fast enough, I think, to be able to do that kind of stuff. But
you slap on a distortion pedal, bro, and you've got shred metal right there.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, well, but in that same breath, man, like I listen to like I mean, it's pop country. It's very, very, very pop country. But I mean, like Brad Paisley.
Yeah,
that dude is a phenomenal guitar player.
Absolutely,
like, just next level guitar player. And the same way that like metal guys have a lot of like the 8-finger tapping, where they're 8-finger tapping and they're going all up and down, and and they've got a very distinct like backhand sweep style that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Those country guys have all of that in their own way. Like they chicken sweep, or like they'll sweep, but they'll, instead of like just kind of like rolling the pick, they'll roll all their fingers, and so you're still getting that sweep, but they're hybrid picking, and like, dude, that technique is so based in bluegrass, like, banjo and all that. But dude, it's so like, it blew my mind. Like, it's so much harder to write like classic traditional country music than you really would want to give it credit.
Yeah.
That and also in metal, if you've got 5,000 notes per song and you mess up 2 or 3, no one's going to care. But whenever you're plucking on, some
What was it? I saw it. It was like an interview with the lead guitar player, or I guess the main guitar player for Lamb of God, and he's like, to those of you who claim that we use backing tracks for everything, if you've caught our recent shows, you know that's not true, because my opening parts for whatever song it was sound like a fucking playing card in a bicycle spokes, because he totally messed it up. He was saying, but
well, man, we had to watch Parkway Drive totally shut down to start a song over.
Oh yeah, Lamb of God did that too, and at the show that I went to, because it was the first time they'd ever played it live, and they started it, and they're like, they didn't know how to start it.
Oh, no, boys, but I love it. I mean, it sucks when it happens to you, as it recently happened to us, but but from a spectator's perspective, having that vulnerability where you just become this raw nerve, and you show like, I'm just a dude up here trying to do this, like we fuck up, and it's not so much fucking up that is the real essence of failure. It's how you handle it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The bands that can totally just like make a joke of it and can put themselves in on the joke, and hey, we did, oops, we're sorry,
Yeah, it's
that versus the guys that get all butt hurt and defensive and like, don't put this on social media.
That's the confidence in your mistakes. Like my friend Russell always told me, is like, the difference between a professional and an amateur is not the number of mistakes that you make, it's how you handle your mistakes. It's just a matter of, yep, whoops, or you just like mumble your way through whatever words you just forgot, and find your way back to the chorus somehow and laugh it off and keep going.
That's it, man. Well, like this instance he's talking about, it was a cover towards the end of the night that we do. We've done it just 100 times, you know what I mean? And we messed up, and we all kind of hit that like moment and looked, and it was like, I immediately just kind of took over, and I was like, all right, everybody drop it down. It's like, basically like, yeah, tell the band like we're doing this on purpose, And I was like, everybody just kind of fall out, and I was like, crowd, we're gonna see, because it was right coming into the chorus of it's our version of Sex and Candy.
So okay, Marcy's Playground.
Yeah, we do this hyped up version of it where it's like way faster and like, you know what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just dropped it down, and I was like, everybody, we all know this song, let's all hit this chorus together, you know what I mean? And like, kind of like from where we were singing it, brought it down, made it a little more pretty. And then whenever it, everybody being the musicians they are in the band, they understood, okay, here's where we can kind of pick this back up and finish this song out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I thought we handled it well. It kind of sucked, for us. Afterwards we were all like, hey guys, like, come on, we got that can't be happening. I understand things happen once in a while, but we can't do that very often. That could have been a train wreck.
So what kind of obviously you do Marcy's Playground. What other kinds of like covers do y'all throw in? I assume there's probably a mixture of not necessarily traditional country type songs, right?
We try to do both. Now we have an ongoing running list of future covers that I am just, dude, I'm just foaming at the mouth to tear into and get out there, because dude, we've got a fucking awesome cover list. And as much as I love our original music, and I love being an original music band, and I love like pushing and selling the business and promoting the art and all that, like the most fun I think I have as a guitar player is just playing a stupid ass cover song that I don't have to think about, and I can just shut my brain off, and and we do it our way. And it's like it's like playing our music is like eating your vegetables, and then we get to do a couple of covers. It's like getting some ice cream. I can just sit back and like enjoy this. But man, we do a Leonard Skinner cover. We do
Simple Man, but our deal with our covers is we try to make them our own as best as possible.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
so like in the middle of Simple Man, we kind of put this not breakdown, but I guess you could call it a breakdown. It's like we put a breakdown in the middle of Simple Man. We play Folsom, but we play it like very punk rock style. You know what I'm saying? Like
real fast,
and like I sing it. You know, I don't sing it like Johnny Cash does. Like it kind of have more of an aggressive yell type thing going on. But then we have like Hey Jealousy, like throw stuff like that in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Hurricane, we do a cover of Hurricane. Yeah, and we do Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. That's a good one to play. So I mean,
that's a good one for multiple reasons, right? Because it's a 9 Inch Nails song, but it's also Johnny Cash did that version of it, so it's everybody's familiar, even if they're not familiar with 9 Inch Nails.
Oh yeah, and I'll be sure to mention that when I'm introing what we're about to be playing on that one. You know, I started out like, who in here knows the band 9 Inch Nails? And you get those people that cheer, you know, and it's like, all right. Who knows Johnny Cash? And then everybody cheers. It's like, yeah, all right, you know. Then we go in on the whole deal or whatever.
Have y'all? This is kind of random, but do y'all know the Fred Eaglesmith?
His name sounds familiar. Why does it sound familiar?
He's like a Canadian, like kind of like a folk like rock type guy. But he's got this song, Johnny Cash is what it's called, I believe. I'm looking it up right now. Fred Eaglesmith. Yep, it's called Fred Eaglesmith. Y'all look it up because the whole song is about like you really love Johnny Cash now because you got this, you get the image of Johnny Cash flipping the bird or whatever. But sure is bad about all that religion, sure is it's a whole song about how he became such a pop, like an icon for people who never really paid attention to the whole artist, like the whole person of Johnny Cash and the whole, Johnny Cash recorded more than once, recorded himself, recorded narrations of the New Testament. Like he was a very religious person. But he also got adopted as like this punk type icon, which is kind of, anyway, whatever. Total digression, but
right. No, I knew he was very much, a religious guy. There's the quote by him that's like, it takes a real man to love Jesus or whatever,
Right.
Something like that. So he was always, rooted in that stuff. He had that wild side to him though. He had those rebel years.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what, you look at what's the biopic? The hell was it called?
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line.
Yeah.
It goes all into the whole drug stuff, but do you guys? What was I gonna say? What was I saying to you, Justin, earlier?
I don't know, but I was waiting for the transition. I was like, do you? It's like
I don't know. I'm fucking rambling at this point.
I thought we were about to go into Walk Hard.
Yeah, that's what I was
like.
The Dewey Cox story.
Yeah.
I saw Westy smiling, and I was like, I know exactly where his brain's
the
at
Dewey
right
Cox
now.
Story. You don't want none of this, Dewey.
Oh man,
This is reefer. Oh, I don't want a hangover. Well, it doesn't give you a hangover. Well, I don't want to get addicted. You're not going to get addicted.
Sounds expensive. It's the cheapest drug.
Nothing terrible's going to happen today. Not in this long, long life of mine.
You don't want none of this.
Steady fighting.
I think I do
one of the
want
best
some of that.
movies ever, man.
Absolutely,
So
one of the best.
good.
Absolutely one of the best.
I feel like there's going to be a movie about you guys one day, and it's going to be like that. It's going to be like the Dewey.
Bro, I would be as awesome as The Dirt was. If somebody ever made like a straight up Will Ferrell fucking comedy about us, I would die so happy. I'd be like, yes. It's fun though, dude, because we take things so seriously, but at the same time, we don't take anything seriously.
Yeah.
So I mean, you just have to kind of, in essence, walk the line of like letting the music and letting the songs and letting our performance, and the effort we try to put out in those moments speak for themselves. It's like, wow, dude, these dudes really try to write good music. But in every other avenue, y'all want to make a video game? Y'all want to make a puppet show? Let's do this.
Yeah, no, I mean clearly the production quality of the tracks that you've put out it's high quality stuff. Like it's top notch, like polished sounding good stuff. And but I was telling Justin before we started talking to y'all this afternoon, is like it seems like they really have a sense of humor about things. Like there was the video. I'm hearing a noise. Is that me?
Yeah, I'm getting that too. I was wondering if it was just on my end.
Uh-oh.
Somebody crunching a water bottle.
Uh-oh. I don't know what that is.
Robots.
Nope.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
That's a weird noise.
This is when like the TV show like cuts to the "we'll be right back."
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's right. Well, I would say that we'll edit this out later, but we won't because we don't edit anything. We just put it all out.
We're live, baby. We're live.
Oh, there it goes. It's gone.
Hey.
There we go.
I don't know what happened.
That's
Anyway,
what that was, yeah.
what all I was saying was that I was telling him beforehand. It does seem like you guys have a good sense of humor because you put that video out that I shared on Twitter a couple of days ago. It's like a video on your bus or something, and you're you're like pretending to narrate like a historical documentary.
Oh, yeah.
It's like this totally ridiculous thing.
Oh yeah, it's whenever Vince Neil rode to aid those in the Alamo
That's right.
in 1984. Yeah, yeah.
And they were shouting at the devil or whatever.
They were shouting at the devil. Yeah. And he kick-started the hearts of his soldiers.
That's right.
That's right. And when the battle was over and the dust had settled, he says, "I'm going home, sweet home." Dude, that was pure off-the-cuff improv, and that's probably the funniest thing that'll ever happen to us, man.
It was great.
Dude, we giggled, and that's part of a large. Oh yeah, talking about other random shit that people don't do in our scene. We made a documentary. We'd been a band for 2 years, and we made a fucking documentary, and it's an hour long.
Yeah, I watched it. It's on YouTube. Yeah,
No,
check it
you
out.
can watch it. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I mean, and Cody's dressed like a pirate, and I'm dressed like a fucking forest wizard from Lord of the Rings, and like there's CGI animals, and it's fantastic, man. It's fantastic. And we make fun of Marilyn Manson,
Yeah.
like a lot. And like it's great, man. And yeah, Hayden's history lesson is a segment from that documentary.
Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Sorry. I got distracted because Cody texted and said everything dropped on his end. So I guess he was the cause of the static.
Oh man.
Maybe he can rejoin us if he gets a chance.
Yeah.
So Weston, I was listening to your music, and I noticed on Spotify, appropriately, "Dancing with Ghosts" is your most played song. Is that maybe one of your favorite songs, or what are some of the songs that you like to play or like to play live, or what's one of this, or one of or a few of the songs that you're really proud of?
Well, I'm proud of a lot. I mean, I have a story behind every song. Like, like Dreamcatcher, me and Cody wrote lyrics to, on substances in the woods of Cameron Park, and like Senorito, we wrote in this haunted hotel way out in the middle of nowhere. And like, it felt like we were staying in the damn Alamo because it was all like the Adobe brick. Dude, it was awesome. Somehow we just landed like an Airbnb after his show, and we were there for like 2 days. And so we were like, let's write a song. And, so I love all of them for so many different reasons. I have an argument that "Dancing with Ghosts" is our most popular song because it was on the radio.
Mm.
That is my take. Now we have a split in the band in terms of opinion of, well, no, it's just a really awesome song. And I'm like, oh, I think it's a fantastic song. Yeah. But, I have this saying that I've been wearing the fuck out that I'm going to end up putting on a t-shirt that reach equals relevance. And we put that song out there, it hit the airwaves, and lo and behold, the streaming, it is way up, above the rest because, our Spotify numbers, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of every listener we have, but I mean, dude, we don't have Coetzel numbers, like we're still babies in terms of all of that. But, I love dancing for the the growth that we got from that song and the way that we had to almost scrap it entirely. And then Will helped pretty much single-handedly restructure and rebuild lyrically the entire song. So it's awesome. But live, my favorite song to play is High, which is our first song, just because it's so high energy and it's so different from everything else in our catalog that people that haven't seen us before, I get to look out in the crowd and see these kind of weird, like, what kind of band is it? You know, like you can see, and you can see that they're all like, they're with it because you can see the movement, but they're also kind of like, they're kind of bewildered by it, you know? And so I love that just emotional confliction in people, because you can see the wheels in their head turning. And, you know, and I think that if we wrote just a bunch of like, Don't Rock the Jukeboxes that you've heard 100 million times over, yeah, that's safe. It's cool. You're always going to get the crowd, always, you know? I mean, it's easy to dance and two-step to that because it's familiar and it's cozy, you know? And I think High is just like a big bucket of cold water getting just thrown on you, you know? It just kind of shocks the system to what people are used to, especially if we get like a larger opening act and people going into the show have their mind set for a certain palette, you know, like we're going out for steak tonight, you know?
Right.
And then you give them some of that sushi, you know? Like it's
funny because we were talking about some of the, you kind of brought up some of the songwriting stuff, the actual like nuts and bolts of how it all gets put together that we didn't even really talk about when we had Cody on. But like, have you guys had many of those like big name opening, like big name bands that you opened up for?
I would say at this point, yeah. I mean, we've probably opened up for 15 or 20 big name people. I mean, it's kind of getting to the point to where, and this sounds so fucking douchebaggy of me, I'm so sorry. It's getting to the point to where it's kind of easier to name the people we haven't played with now, you know, and that's so fucking cringe. But, you know,
I'm just thinking about what you said just now about like the kind of thing where you like, it's a total thing where people show up for them. I mean, that's, you know, they show up for the main act, and then they're hearing you guys, and I can't think of anybody who has a big name in Texas country music that you would like align with exactly on terms of how you
nothing
sound.
Really pairs with y'all,
right?
Doesn't,
Right.
Like,
you're gonna be
kind of your own thing.
You're gonna be different from whoever else it is you're playing with.
Yeah, man, we're left of center, for sure. Well, I would say that one of the oddest pairings was oh man, we played with Shane Smith and the Saints and the Dirty River Boys at Gas Monkey Live for their ugly Christmas sweater party, and this was in 2019, and the crowd definitely was not prepared for us to come out swinging the way that we did, you know. But by the time we, you know, but by the time we got to the end of our set, you know, and, you know, we got to the 3-part harmonies parts and we got to the familiar parts, like, you know, we won them all over because that was that element that they were with Shane and them. There's harmonies. So whenever we gave them harmonies, they were like, oh, this is why these guys, you know, because, you know, the Dirty River Boys, they're wild on stage, but I mean, we're definitely way more chaotic and running around, and, you know, and Shane and them, you know, those dudes, you know, they rock out when the rock out comes, but they're for the most part pretty in the pocket because they all flip and sing. So they can't go too far.
Right.
But, yeah, man.
We've had a couple of bands on that I think you guys would pair well with.
Oh yeah. And well, my goal, my dream with this band is I want to pull, you know, like the hippies and the cowboys, man. I want, you know, I want the headbangers and the two-steppers, you know, the square dancers. You know, I want a circle pit, that I want a square dance. Like, I just want to see this melting pot of culture, and, you know, and you know, your dip spitting, you know, Michelob Ultra drinking redneck shit kickers, and then your grungy, greasy ass, slimy metalheads and neck beards that don't, I mean, like, I want all of it, dude. Like, I want our emo kids and our scene girls. Like, I want all of it. And, and I think that, by taking the approach that, like, well, we're not so heavily inspired by Coetzel that everything we do sounds like a Coetzel song.
Yep.
Like, I mean, I try to listen to enough of this music to support my peers.
Mm-hmm.
Like when like we're friends with a couple of the guys in Gio's, band.
Yeah.
And, like Carlos wears our shirt on. We sent Carlos and Jared t-shirts, and Carlos will go up there and rocking the GDD, the Black Dirt shirt on, and like, and it's, and
That's cool.
and it makes us feel so part of the family,
Right.
Because by all accounts, man, like, despite some of the kind of cool stuff we do, I mean, we're not on a label, not on an agency. It's everything we do. Like, every email somebody gets is from one of us. Like,
right.
I mean, we don't have a PR rep. We don't, I mean, we're all DIY, but despite how little we are, we've gotten to do some kind of big things. So, like, it's all just really special, man. And where I see the scene heading with this whole, I call it the new pop punk movement, or the alt punk movement, I'll call it alt punk,
Very much.
Or y'alternative,
Y'alternative. That's awesome. Yeah.
Y'alternative, I would like us to, I don't want to be a part of it, but I want to be the cavalry as that scene and as this movement, rides itself forward. But what I want us to bring is, okay, they walk so we can run, like Co and Gio and the boys and all of them, and Austin Mead and all these, Whiskey Myers, for example, like all these rockers that are in the scene, that can kind of do their take on Southern rock and punk music and country and all that. I want to follow in with, okay, well, now that you've heard this, now I think you kids are ready for a breakdown. Now I think you kids are ready for a little bit of screaming. Now I think you kids are, ready for a little bit of kind of out there imagery, So I'm really just trying to look at this as like a curve or a wave. And eventually that wave is going to break over and spill. And, and when it does, I just want to make sure that me and the guys have everything in place that we can ride that momentum to the shore, where the people are.
Right.
And so it's, I mean, it seems, I think we seem really random and kind of all over the place on the surface. But I think if you kind of, anybody who would ever give a shit, you kind of dig a little deeper, I think you'll find that everything we do is very intentional, and we get on each other all the time about, is there a purpose and a point behind this? I mean, so, man, it's all a dice roll, who knows what's going to happen, but, but I know we have divvied so far from your original question about bands and song meanings and shit. I'm so sorry. But, that's just my ADD brain kicking in. And if Cody was here, he'd been like, all right, okay, shut up. But
well, I think the question was about opening acts or whatever. But I think, I think you touched on a very relevant thing to this show, actually, is that we have this, like, this crossroads, especially lately. Like, there's always been like that undercurrent of like rock music in the Texas music scene. But like, you look at I mean, you look at the Vandaliers.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys are that's punk rock, man. That's like, dude, that's punk rock with a fiddle, okay?
Dude,
but
we've been the band Laredo and Vandaliers. We have just been harassing them like we've just
they're gonna put you on the spam list.
Dude, yeah, we're like, bro, let's play a show. It would crush. It would be so gnarly if we could line something up with those dudes, man. Like, man, we'll go out there and bang out a 30-minute set, whatever, 30, 45 minutes. We ain't even got to play an hour, but I just feel that, like, the culmination of all of these sounds together would be so epic, man.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought those dudes up. They're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, we had the band Laredo on a couple weeks ago, two or 3 weeks ago, whatever it was.
Yeah, they're a studio bros with us. Yeah,
Are they?
they're also Jeff Rockwell. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys
their stuff.
their songs are fucking awesome, and their production is great, and they definitely bring out that whole pop punk that we talked about on the show. Like they're more kind of pop punk than maybe like I don't know the terminology really for punk music, but it's like more like the traditional sounding punk. They're more of the pop punk, which has got a huge resurgence lately, you know. But yeah, I mean, I think it's in the same vein. Like I think it would line up pretty well with the show. So if we ever get to put together like a Let's Freaking Do This like shit live show,
Dude,
we can get you guys all together.
Oh, bro, 100%, man. Love to do it. That'd be fucking gnarly. How many people have y'all had on the podcast at once? Is there a software limitation, or have y'all ever had
there is, as a matter of fact.
There actually is, yeah. Well, it depends on if you want to pay for an upgrade to the system. But
okay.
The limitation is six different logins. So we would have had trouble getting the whole band on tonight. So thankfully it was just you and Cody. But we appreciate.
We've talked about it, about making it work somehow. If we had certain acts on that, that would make sense to pay, the fork over the money on. I mean, everybody would be worth it, but we really haven't actually encountered the scenario where we needed to. Like in advance, we're trying to check and see how many people are going to log on at once, and in every scenario, it's not exceeded the limit, so we haven't had to do it.
I know that we, and this is my own doing, because I'm if you ever wonder where a lot of the really geeky nerdy shit comes from, it's all me. Like I'm a MMO, EverQuest, World of Warcraft playing fucking comic nerd dude. But I have a band GDB Discord server.
Oh,
and, yeah, and I boosted it up a couple of times, and I've made some public channels, and I've got my private band only channels. But we get in there with our video calls all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's better than Zoom because like it doesn't just put you on like an hour lockout.
Yeah.
And and you're not like bound necessarily to a specific site. So yeah, dude, like if y'all ever like maybe want to throw like a big old like video orgy, Discord, dude, because I've had all kinds of people in Discord.
Yeah.
The screens get little after a while because you get so many people in there, but
right.
But I don't believe there's a cap. I don't think there's a cap.
Yeah.
Anyways, whatever. What do I know?
No, it sounds like you know a lot. You're very instrumental in the Ghost Dance Band. So
literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. But but I will say though, dude, like I ain't shit without my guys though. Honestly, I mean, I think that's what makes this so special. Like, I mean, like say I leave them and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna do something else. Obviously you bring your own kind of flavor to music and the approach. So there would be probably some type of similarity just by the way that I play guitar. But
right,
dude, I say it all the time, man. This is my home. Like, this is my band, like not mine exclusively, but like this isn't, I don't see this as just like a stepping stone to the next project or the next thing. I mean, like we're all like, we all as mad as we'll get at one another if the weekend doesn't go right, or we get bad news, or the bus breaks down or some crazy shit, and like we'll get all pissed off and have a band fight, but then that twinge of fear of like, oh my god, what if someone wakes up tomorrow and it's like, well, I'm leaving, I'm quitting, and then you just get this shock of, oh no, we can't have that. So everybody's real quick to, I'm sorry guys, like, I'm sorry. It's all good. It's all good. So, I mean, we're all kind of codependent enough, we have a saying like, we can get mad, we just can't stay mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. And because brothers fight, family fights,
I mean, again, you guys are one of the few groups that are bands in this scene. So it's not, you wouldn't have Cody off on his own. It would be Ghost Dance Band. So
I mean, it's Well, even I mean, we've even got friends and that are doing it that are very talented people, extremely talented people, but they try to get a band together and that brotherhood just isn't there. That camaraderie and that
Yep.
I mean that everyone's looking for that that BBD, that bigger better deal, and so I'm here for now. I'll do it for a while, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
Yep. And
Like,
that's the way, that's
So
everybody who's tried to be in a band at some point in their life knows that feeling when you've got the group that you've got together is basically made up of people, or at least some of the people in the group they're trying to look for that. They're like you said, stepping stone type situation.
Oh yeah. Well, that and man, and we're Voltron, dude. Like everyone has a role. Like Chris, he handles our finances. He's paying our taxes. He's doing the P&L expense reports, and he's saving receipts, and he's logging miles, and he's he's just crunching out numbers. Like Will is who's setting the rig up, fixing problem. Will, my shit won't work. What's wrong? And then he comes over and fixes it. Like James is the mechanic. I mean, he fixed our bus. He keeps Fat Thor on the road, and me and Cody are the bookers, personality,
Right.
interview guys.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that those dudes aren't personable to they could absolutely pop on these podcasts and be a good time, but like watch that documentary, dude, and you just kind of catch our vibe. It's like watching a fucking episode of Friends or some shit, man. Like it's crazy. It really is crazy. I lucked out with these.
So we got the we got the documentary to check out. What else do we need to check out from you guys? What do you guys got coming up?
We have 2 songs and 2 videos coming out soon. Aticophobia will be released 10/7, and then the video will be released 10, I want to say 21, but that might not be right. 1 second. 7. Yeah. Okay, so the video, the song on October 7th, and then the video on October 21st. In between, we have a spreadsheet of social media releases pretty much for something every week until mid 2023. So like yesterday's post was the Wilted Rose 8-bit song.
Yeah.
Like next week we might put out a guitar playthrough for something else, or a drum cover, or so we have a lot coming out. I'm really, 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 really excited about this new music, though. Like I'm so pumped on it, and I can't wait for everybody to kind of see the next step further we take as a band, as a sound. Because even listening from Rituals to Erie Street to Graveyard Song, those are 3 very different entities.
Oh yeah.
And so we've got people that love that Ritual sound and hate Erie, and we've got people that can't stand Rituals and love Erie. And so, it's just kind of throwing stuff out there until something really, really sticks, but I think that we kind of really understand who we are and what we want. And I think the music definitely reflects that. And in terms of shows, we've got a few coming up. We're doing a jam down by the river in October, and that's like I call it FUBU. It's for us, by us. Like it's for musicians, by musicians. Like there's no money involved. Everybody just whatever the bands get, most of us just donate it all right back and give it to Dustin Brown, our buddy, who put all of this on. And it's in New Braunfels, and it's a 3-day and it's at a campsite, a campground. Man, if Cody was on, he would be able to.
I think I saw this, Justin.
Yeah, it's oh my god,
there were a couple of posts about this. Yeah,
but that's kind of what we look forward to at the end of the year. Like as awesome as it is to play with like bigger people and do like our own cooler shows, man. Like we really do. Like we're all about the bro down, man. And Jam Down by the River is the shit, dude. We have such a good time because it's a bunch of really good people and a bunch of really good music, but we're down by the river and it's just kind of lawlessness. So, everybody's kind of running wild.
Is this the one October 13th through the 16th?
Yeah, that's it.
Mountain Breeze Campground in New
Yes,
Braunfels?
that's it. Mountain Breeze. Yes, that's it.
Okay, you guys got you got Race Ricketts, the Damn Quails, John Dempsey, whole lot of people going down there.
Oh, dude, and it's and like I said, man, like, and our buddy Dustin.
Colton Lane Mormon, I met that guy.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, dude, like our buddy Dustin was talking about, we call it the JV LJT.
Right,
Like,
right.
none of us are on the LJT Fest. Like, we're not playing that shit. So
Right.
they ain't calling us. So let's just like I said earlier, how we make our own shows. Let's make our own festival. Where we decide who comes, and we and we're and we're the gatekeepers, even though there are no gatekeepers. I mean, it's gate kept in terms of like Dustin decides where it's going to be, what days, what time slots.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, but if you want to play, come play.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, oh well, let me check your Spotify, and if it's valid, then we'll give you a shot or whatever. But it's great, man. And
Well,
this
Colton's a hell of a singer. I know that for a fact. And the Damn Quails, I mean they're
they're the Damn Quails.
Yeah, they're the Damn Quails.
Like, so yeah, I believe we're headlining Friday, and I think they're headlining Saturday.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
I think, yeah. But oh, dude, yeah, we're gonna bring tents and bring our RV, and we're gonna camp out and we're gonna party, man, for sure.
Awesome.
Cannot wait. Y'all find a way to come out. Y'all ought to come out.
I'll see what I can do.
Hell yeah. Well, if y'all need a tent or a couch, we got it.
Awesome.
Well, Weston, we really appreciate having you on the show. You have a really cool, unique band, and
Thank you guys.
thanks again for you and Cody for joining us tonight. And thanks to everyone who's watched this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on YouTube now or later, do us a favor, like this video and subscribe to our channel. That stuff really helps us, and we really appreciate it. Also, we're available on I can't even speak. We're on podcast platforms like Spotify and Anchor. So if you prefer audio, we have the audio version on there. But if you're on Spotify, you can also watch the video. So check us out on Spotify, because the video actually looks better on Spotify because it's on your phone. It's a small screen, looks even better. So check us out there. And if you could follow us on those platforms, we'd appreciate that also. Just subscribe, rate, and review. Just remember those 3 words. Just a couple of clicks, it really helps us out. We're also on social media. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram. We are at LFDT Pod. Again, at LFDT Pod on Twitter and Instagram. So, Jason, any closing words before we get out of here?
Listen to Lamb of God. No, I'm just kidding. Listen to Ghost Dance Band.
Yeah. Also, check out their website. Their website's awesome. It's theghostdanceband.com. There's so many cool things on that site.
Check out their videos.
Videos are awesome. Cinematic quality. Really like cool stories that are. I like I said, the Andromeda video, I was like, this is like so bizarre. Like the music and the video and what you think's gonna happen in the video and what doesn't happen, and what does happen is it's crazy. Just check it out. Check out their documentary on YouTube. They've got a lot of great stuff on YouTube. So
thank you guys.
Weston, yeah, thanks again for joining us. And so for Weston and for Cody and for Jason, this is Justin saying we'll see you next week. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Oh, I didn't know what to do.